Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ET Considers Everything podcast for Tuesday, December 20th, 2016. On this edition, I'll be taking a look back at the Monday Night Football matchup from FedEx Field last night between the Carolina Panthers and the Washington Redskins. I'll be diving into the story about Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffery missing their team's respective bowl games in the Sun Bowl and in the Holiday Bowl, respectively. And I'll also be taking a look at MLB trade headlines that have took place over the past 24 hours as well. So let's get going with this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. First, let's start off with the Monday Night Football matchup, which took place last night in Landover, Maryland. The Carolina Panthers defeated the Washington Redskins last night by a score of 26-15. Cam Newton had over 300 yards passing and 2 passing touchdowns to go along with 1 rushing touchdown. And Graham Gano hit 3 field goals last night, so it was a big time performance for him, and he went 3 of 4 on field goal attempts and made 2 extra points as well. Well, we also had for the Washington Redskins, Kirk Cousins, who had over 300 yards passing last night. He had an interception and a fumble. This was not one of his best games of the season, but he did give it his all, and the team hung in there as long as they could. But in the end, they just couldn't capitalize on touchdown drives, only scoring 1 touchdown in the game and having their kicker missed an extra point, but he did connect on 3 field goal attempts last night. It was a good win by the Carolina Panthers, who are mathematically still alive for the playoffs, but they're going to need a lot of help, and it looks like that they won't get it because the New York Giants are going to be locked into the playoffs here with a win in one of their last 2 games, and the Green Bay Packers will shut them out as well if they win one of their last 2 games. So I have to wait and see what happens over the next couple weeks in the NFL and NFC playoff picture, but it was a big win by the Carolina Panthers last night for sure on Monday Night Football. Also, we have Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey. They are skipping their team's respective bowl games, the Citrus Bowl and the Sun Bowl. And it's a very interesting story there. I think it hurts the team more than it does the player. It's going to be interesting to see how Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey do upcoming in the draft. I'd say both of them are top 3 round draft picks. I'd say Leonard Fournette is easily a first round draft pick, and I would say that Christian McCaffrey is a 2nd to 3rd round draft pick. So I don't think it's really going to hurt their stock missing these bowl games, but it's really going to hurt the teams in the long run because they're not going to have one of their best players at their disposal to use on their offensive side of the football. And it's going to be very interesting to see how Stanford does against North Carolina in the Hyundai Sun Bowl coming up on December 27th, and how LSU does against Louisville in the Buffalo Wild Wings Citrus Bowl, which takes place on December 30th. Those are 2 of the big bowl games that are getting ready to take place over the next couple weeks. And as I mentioned earlier in my podcast, the college football playoff semifinals will take place on December 31st. With the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl between number 1 Alabama and number 4 Washington, and the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl with number 2 Clemson taking on number 3 Ohio State. Both those games will be on ESPN at 3 and 7 p.m. Eastern respectively, and you can catch them live on the ESPN app or the Watch ESPN app as well. Those are just some of the big developments coming out of the college football ranks as well. And MLB news to report on. Clay Buccholtz has been traded from the Boston Red Sox to the Philadelphia Phillies for 2 minor league prospects. Clay Buccholtz was a member of the Boston Red Sox 3 World Championship teams from 04, 07, and 2013. He went 8-10 last season with an ERA over 4 and one of his worst seasons to date, but he's still a pitcher that can get it done in the major leagues, and he can fit very well in the National League system with the Philadelphia Phillies and have a good lineup behind him as well with some power hitters there, including Ryan Howard and Javier Baez and players like that in Philadelphia. So that's a very interesting trade that took place. We've had some very interesting signings this offseason that took place. Justin Turner re-signed with the LA Dodgers on a 5-year contract worth $80 million. and we had Kenley Jansen do the same, 5 years, $80 million. So two of the big re-signings there. We had Dexter Fowler, who was traded from the Chicago Cubs to the St. Louis Cardinals, and then we had Wade Davis, who was traded from the Kansas City Royals to the Chicago Cubs. Aroldis Chapman also signed a off-season tender sheet, 5 years, $85 million with the New York Yankees. So a lot of MLB off-season headlines have occurred, so we'll see what happens there. Coming up on New Year's Day, it will be the Centennial Classic, as two original 6 teams will go at it in Toronto. It will be the Detroit Red Wings taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs at the Skydome. That game will be on January 1st at 2 p.m. on NBC. And on January 2nd, it will be the Bridgestone Winter Classic, as it will be the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the St. Louis Blues at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. 2 outdoor games on 2 back-to-back days. Should be a lot of fun for hockey fans and a lot of fun for people that do love outdoor hockey. I am, for one, a big fan of outdoor hockey and definitely look forward to the Winter Classic each season. So we'll see what happens in those games coming up for sure. In the NBA last night, Russell Westbrook had another big stat line. He had 47 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists, but it was not enough as the Atlanta Hawks defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder 119-117. So the Oklahoma City Thunder are struggling this year without Kevin Durant, but Russell Westbrook has really been the player to beat this season and really is in the lead, in my opinion, right now in the MVP talks. We'll have to wait and see how those talks will go throughout the season as it continues, but Russell Westbrook is really carrying the Oklahoma City Thunder on his back and giving it his all each and every game. But for now, that's it for this edition of the ET Considers Everything podcast for Tuesday, December 20th, 2016. If y'all don't mind, like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and as always, I'll keep you posted on sports news as I get them across my tablet. For great wrestling, backyard wrestling, go over to GladeSpringWrestling.com. They have great videos. They have great YouTube channel, Glade Spring Wrestling. Yours truly is involved in Glade Spring Wrestling, so if y'all get a chance, check that out as well, and we appreciate all your support with that as well. For now, this is E.T. Eric Tyler Mullins reporting from Pound, Virginia. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching this video, liking this video, and subscribing to the YouTube channel. Later.